Hey everyone, it's Rylan. It is Friday, June 23rd, 2017 at 3:23 p.m. And here's the situation, y'all. So, I have not seen my extended family in 2 years. Here's the timeline. I came out to myself as transgender, FTM, on January 23rd, 2015. Then I came out on Facebook in May of that year, 2015. Then in June, I was still living in Wisconsin. We went up to our lake house for this first inaugural family vacation, extended family getaway. That my family owns. And that was July 4th. I was out as trans, but my family, my dad and sister, still weren't really calling me Rylan. They definitely weren't calling me male pronouns. And so it was this awkward thing that I wasn't sure if people knew about or not. So I was still going by my birth name and female pronouns. And it was a very horrible experience where I just wanted to cry. Then a couple days later, I started T on the 9th. So I was on T for a little under 2 years, and I just stopped taking it in April. And so yeah, I haven't seen these people in 2 years. I've talked with one aunt occasionally. She's the only one that I've seen because I saw her back in December for a day. But yeah, haven't kept in contact with anybody, and my dad has been the one at Christmas vacations to tell a couple people that don't really email that I'm trans. So my predicament and thing that I've been crying over and been very upset over is the fact that there is a very good chance that some of the people that are going to be up at the cabin are not potentially going to be understanding of my transgender identity and are going to be resistant or, I hope not potentially malicious, but resistant and uneducated to not use my name and my pronouns. So I have been really freaking out but I was I'm not going to go. But that doesn't make sense because I'm only going home for 2 weeks, and 5 of those days would be spent at home alone without a car doing nothing, which is all I ever do in New York. So there's no reason to do that in Wisconsin. Or to sit in my room for 2 days while everyone is there and then emerge from my shell when the extended family leaves because my dad and sister will be there a couple days without the rest of the family there. And when I proposed that to my dad, he got really pissed and was you're not sitting in your room for 2 days. Either reschedule your appointment or reschedule your trip or don't come. But it doesn't work to reschedule my trip because I'm going to be starting EMDR, which is a really intensive therapy that is targeted towards my PTSD. And we're starting it when I get back in July. And if I were to push back starting my EMDR and it gets broken up, that's not really good because it's such an intensive therapy, and it needs to be kept consistent, and I don't want to put this off any longer than it already has been. So I guess, y'all, I'm fucking scared. My dad made a comment today that was really hurtful that I'm not going to repeat, but just basically about me being gender fluid and, what would people think if I presented as female? Basically, how are people going to be calling you he, him pronouns, but then you're really going to confuse them if you dress like a girl? And then I got pissed and started yelling and swearing and crying, and so that didn't go over very well. A couple people suggested writing a letter, which immediately I shot down because I was I haven't talked to these people in 2 years. I'm not going to just surprise, been in New York for 2 years, BT dubs, I'm trans, call me he, him pronouns. But when I did mention that to my dad, just casually, he's that actually might be a good idea. So I think, I guess it is a good idea because it's either my vacation, I only get to go home 2 times a year. Christmas time and summer. That's it. 2 times a year. And like I said, I haven't seen these people in 2 years since I've like transitioned. I've been on T for 2 years. I've had fucking top surgery. Like some things have changed, you know, like my face looks a little different, you know, not like totally, you know, manly or anything, but I look a little different than I did before, and my voice is a little different than it was before, but, you know, nothing like super drastic. But the main concern is that I have some younger cousins that may not understand what being trans is, and I'm misgendered every day, so I'm used to being called she, her pronouns. It hurts, but I'm not okay, and I cannot like mentally deal with people calling me my birth name like that. I have enough issues on my plate, and like I don't think I'm strong enough to deal with people calling me my birth name. That just sounds like a bad idea and an unhealthy and unsafe environment, because I'm in recovery for a lot of things right now, and I don't want to go back to dealing with stressful situations by you know, relapsing in certain areas of my life. I don't want to dissociate because people are calling me the wrong name. So it could potentially be a very toxic situation. So I wanted to share with you guys a letter that I crafted. And yeah, this is what I wrote. I kind of am writing it from my dad's point of view, and I'll tell you why when I'm done. Okay, so it says, "Hey all, hope you're having a great day. I just wanted to send out an email to address something before we start our sun-soaked 4th of July weekend. As some of you know, birth name, has come out as transgender 2 years ago. He now goes by Rylan and is best served and comfortable with male pronouns, specifically he, him, his. We are aware, for those of you that may not have known this or kept in contact with Rylan, that this change might seem drastic because we haven't..." Well, I need commas. May not have known this or kept in contact with Rylan, that this change might seem drastic, comma, but we haven't seen Rylan more happy. He knows and is fully aware that this change might be hard for some, and he will try his best to be patient because he knows that this is a big change for all to digest. Rylan just asks that you do your best to correct yourself if you slip up. If you have any questions or concerns about his pronouns or his transition, feel free to reach out to me directly or to Rylan at, and then my email address. I will be honest and admit that Rylan is having a hard time deciding whether or not to come up to the cabin because he does not want to cause any tension or make anyone uncomfortable. But we stand by Rylan in his decision to transition and to live fully as himself. Thank you for understanding, and we greatly look forward to seeing you. Now, the reason I wrote that from like almost my dad's point of view is because I don't want to be coming out of the woodworks after 2 years and just emailing these people and being like, yo, I'm a dude now. Like, call me these pronouns. I wanted to craft it in a way that sounds like I have the support of my dad to back me up if people do misgender me, if people do call me the wrong name. I think it just adds some more punch to it to show that I at least have the support of him and that I'm not just like, you know, springing this on everyone. So I sent it to my dad and he's going to make a couple corrections, but, you know, I don't know how this letter is going to be received. I know how I would love for, you know, to get an email like, we can't wait to have him, because that's like the response that I got from my acting school. And I don't expect that because I just think some people might be really resistant. But, you know, maybe I'm not giving people enough credit in my family. I don't know. But, like, I'm not really close with a lot of my family. So I don't know what to expect. But I guess at this juncture, I will go up north. I will go back to Wisconsin. I will go to my lake house. I did make a video the other day about how I'm nervous about taking my shirt off in front of people. Now that people definitely know that I'm trans, I still think I'm going to refrain from that. Mostly because I'm really uncomfortable with my body. I'm uncomfortable with, you know, how big I am. So I don't want to be like fat and gross in front of people. So that's kind of what's going on. It's been a stressful 2 days, because it's just really stressing me out. And I never cry, and I started crying, like, I was crying like an hour ago, because I just feel like my dad, as supportive as he is, like, doesn't understand how difficult this is. You know, the fact that this is even something I have to consider is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Because I said, like, I literally nothing about me has changed. I am the same human being that I was before. I just go by a different name and I just go by different pronouns. That's the only thing that has changed. I'm still an actor. I'm still creative. I'm still a singer. You know what I mean? Like, nothing about me has changed. And it's just really fucking sad that I have to be in such emotional distress and feel that I can't go to my own property to have a nice summer retreat. You know, it's really upsetting and I'm getting all worked up again and I don't want to. So I guess the only thing I can do now is wait for my dad to see this to send this email, see if people even respond, and then put myself in this situation that could potentially be really, really, like, psychologically damaging. But I don't see the point of me sitting at home for 5 days at my dad's apartment. That just sounds really stupid. So I don't know. This is the only thing that I think is going to work. So, yeah. Just figured I'd share because that's what I do. All right, bye guys. Have a good day.